There's never been a better time to have SiriusXM. With even more exclusive content, with over 150 channels in your vehicle, including the widest, deepest variety of music, ad-free. Root for your team. Get news. Listen to whatever makes you laugh. And hear all about your favorite stars. Your Platinum Plan offer includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels filled with music and enjoy a favorite shows with SiriusXM Video. Thousands of hours of shows and performances on demand. What you love is on now.
So if you're in the market to partner up with a dashcam company and haven't quite found that perfect partner yet, well, today's session might shed some light on that matter. We're talking, of course, about Mio, a brand based out of Taiwan with really great value and features that everybody's looking for right now, whether it be a 2-channel system, great performance as far as daytime and nighttime, GPS, parking mode, hardwire options, and even a motorcycle option. This is CMA Connected, presented by SiriusXM, all about Mio, and it starts now. Hello, everybody, and thanks for tuning in to another CMA Connected, presented by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. And as we continue our adventure down the path of ADAS, Advanced Driver Assistance Systems, of course, dash cams are a huge part of that market. Now, as you know, when dash cams came out, it was kind of trendy, right? People kind of wanted it because it was cool. And then the whole cash and carry thing, and it kind of fell off a little bit. But recently, I'm saying in the last 2-3 years, dash cams have really picked up momentum. And today's brand is certainly one of the leaders within the category that has a really brilliant offering, especially here in Canada, of course, distributed by Importel. We're going to go ahead and bring on their brand manager, the 12-volt Viking himself, Mr. Jaren Hjelmeland. What's going on, sir?
How's it going, Ben? That nickname is sticking with you, I guess.
Dude, that's what you are. I just call it like it is, as you know. I just call it like it is. Jaren, we're talking about ADAS, we're talking about dash cams, and today specifically we're talking about the brand Mio. I've had some experience with Mio. I think it's a really, really interesting product, especially from a user perspective. Super simple to use, and it's loaded with a lot of features. I guess I should ask, let's start off from the beginning, from an Importel perspective. How does Mio for you fit the bill when it comes to that ADAS offering at Importel?
Well, definitely ADAS is a huge category for us. I think safety is a huge category for most 12-volt suppliers. And Mio cams just go hand in hand with that. They make a great camera. It's utmost quality. And they also do offer advanced driver assistance, whether it be speed cam, lane departure warnings, forward vehicle collision, and also stuck in traffic, vehicle moving ahead of you gives you a warning so you can wake up and say, oh, traffic's moving. I was recently in Toronto visiting the Importel headquarters, and yeah, that's an important feature in Toronto because you're just stuck bumper to bumper for hours on end, and we were close to Importel, and I'm like, I couldn't handle this all day. I'll give it back to Alberta, wide open roads.
No disrespect to our friends in Toronto, but it's not for everybody. Let's just put it that way. So I mean, clearly, you guys have been doing well with the Mio brand for some time. I see Conrad chiming in here that Mio cameras are great, and we love them at our store. So thank you, Conrad, for that comment. It's nice to know that dealers are finding success and have confidence in the product. For those that don't know the brand, though, can you give us some insight as to, I guess, what is the claim to fame when it comes to Mio? What are they a leader in?
So how I would put Mio as a leader in is definitely the quality of their cameras. Their image tuning is amazing. And when they bring a camera to market, they have different test markets that they'll obviously bring cameras into. But when a camera is launched to the public, they have full confidence in that camera. It's not, hey, we put this all together, here's out of the box, here, put it in the field, try it out. No, it's like that camera is R&D developed for a year at least before it even gets released to market. And there's certain cameras that I've asked for that are in other markets, and they say, oh, it's not ready for your guys' markets. We're testing it in this market first. Like they're a massive company. They have #1 market share in Taiwan, Japan. They're within the China, and that dash cam market, if anyone has ever seen that dash cam market, it's a huge market. Like everyone has a dash cam.
Yeah, I mean, to the point where vehicle manufacturers include these dash cams as part of the delivery on a new vehicle. It is gigantic as a market there, and hopefully, if that's any sign of what's to come and the importance and relevance of dash cams in general, even here in North America, it's certainly headed that way. And to be clear, Mio is a manufacturer. This is not a Me Too brand. They're not buying cameras off the shelf and branding it. They are truly a manufacturer. And I think, Jaren, what we have here to present to get the show on the road is a video that will, I guess, clarify that statement you just made. How about we roll the tape and we'll see what that's all about. There you have it. Some very interesting things. I think the battery one definitely stood out for me, as well as the static electricity test, which I'll be honest, I'm not sure every brand out there does, this level of testing.
Yeah, it's certain tests that you wouldn't even think about, but then when they show it like that, you're like, oh, that's hugely important. And I've done my research out in the market and everything, and there's different dash cam manufacturers out there, and a lot of the reviews say, hey, you don't use lithium ion batteries. It's better to use supercapacitors within the dash cam to store that power and regulate the power within the dash cam. But Mio took a different stance. It's like, let's just use proper batteries. So that's all their cams have CE certified batteries in it, whether it be your entry level piece or their highest end piece. Like, it's consistent on the range, and same with all the testing on the cameras. It's consistent throughout. It doesn't matter if it's the entry level piece or the flagship model. It's consistent throughout.
Yeah, and the weather obviously applicable very much so up here in Canada. Yeah, we definitely want to make sure these dash cams work, regardless if it's plus 35 in the summer or minus 35 in the winter. Which yes, okay. I'm going to set you up here, Jaren. You've got a presentation on dash cams. This is kind of a two-part presentation. So, guys, you're tuning in. First, Jaren's going to cover the dash cam side of things, and then we're going to review because there's an app to go over. And then after that, we're going to talk about the Rider series, which is really an application specific for motorcycle system that Mio's got. So having said that, Jaren, we'll bring up your presentation and you have the stage.
So we're going to talk about Mio again. Keep going through the Mio dash cams here. It's a very important brand to us. So jump too far. And they're an industry leader in the quality of cameras. A lot of their market is the cash and carry market. So it's a little bit outside the realm of our standard 12-volt brick and mortars where they love to install stuff. But that gives you utmost confidence in the product you're selling, that it's not going to come back because of all the testing and everything they do. Another thing that's huge with the Mio cameras that I think is a very important part of the camera system is the built-in GPS receiver. So there's no external add-on antenna that you have to plug in, no added piece. It's built right into all the units that include GPS. And this is important for GPS tagging. Obviously, if there is a chance that you get in an accident, you know exactly where the accident is and exactly which direction you're heading and everything. And I feel like Mio is a huge leader in this category because they are tied to the brand Magellan. So Magellan made, back in the GPS days before everyone had it on their smartphone, they made dash mount GPSs. So if you're using the same technology, same GPS receivers that you're using on your dash mount GPS, you know that's going to be of the highest quality. And it also ties into the other cool features, the GPS technology, to have the safety cam alerts. So we'll go into the safety cam alerts next. So this is their GPS safety cam warning smart alert. So this is a patented alert. This is I have a 798 in my car. And this is probably one of the coolest features that I've found once I was talking to Mio and they said, have you tried this yet? And no, I don't need speed cam alert. I'm a pretty old man and driving slow. But it's one of the coolest features I found on the cam besides getting quality video that, knock on wood, I haven't had to use yet. But it's a smart alert system. So it gives you fixed distance alert. And these are adjustable within the settings of the cam. So when you're approaching a GPS speed cam, and they have locations tagged all through North America, when you're approaching it, it gives you a warning and pops up that there's a speed cam ahead. And then it monitors how fast you're going. So if you're under the speed limit, it's not going to notify you again until you reach the actual camera location. If you're over the speed limit, it's going to keep binging at you and warning you, and you can change it for voice or just tones to warn you that you're speeding and possibly going to get a ticket at that red light cam, which is pretty cool. Everyone's been absent-minded driving and not thinking about it, but it gives you that reminder that, hey, there's a speed cam ahead, let me slow down a little bit. So it's a pretty cool feature on there, ties into the ADAS category. And this also goes along with their front collision warning, lane departure if you're on long trips, and different other features that they have. Another thing that Mio does very well is their cameras are designed with a larger aperture. So as the aperture number goes down, the smaller f number on the camera, the more light it lets in to the image sensor. So what does that mean for a consumer? Your video quality is brighter. You have a better picture quality at the end of the day. So it is one spec that maybe not is the forefront of the marketing, like 4K or 1080p. That seems to be the buzzwords because it ties in with TVs. But for camera people out there, aperture is a huge thing when it comes to lenses. And this ties it into the Mio cams and the sensors they use on board. So this is a breakdown of kind of the lineup. We have three basic models. Well, not basic models, three models. So it's a pretty easy line to carry, good, better, best within your store. So we'll start at the C320. So this is your basic dash cam. Hey, I want video recording. I want 1080p recording at 30 frames per second. It has a 2-inch screen on it, very user-friendly, easy to use. You should be confident selling this to any customer, whether it be an 18-year-old kid with his first car. Put this on your windshield, plug it in a cigarette lighter, turns on with ignition, you have video sensor. Or this is a commonly sold one to our older generation, like my parents, that aren't technology friendly. Plug it in, put the SD card in, you're good to go. Very, very simple camera. All glass lens, still has the G sensor on board, still using CMOS sensors. So that spec quality is very good. You just lose some of the features that maybe you don't necessarily need in a camera, but it definitely helps for the consumer to record video in case there's an accident. So the next step up we have from that is the 733 Wi-Fi cam. So again, 1080p resolution on it, 2.7-inch display, so jumps up to a larger display. This one has GPS and Wi-Fi on board. So the Wi-Fi will connect to your MyView Manager app, lets you download your videos direct to your phone. In the event that there's an emergency, as soon as you connect your phone, it automatically downloads that file to your phone in the emergency recording situation. Again, all glass lens. This one includes the advanced driver safety assistance, so that front collision warning, lane departure, speed cam alert. And the 733 also allows it allows you to hardwire it to be a smart box. With using the smart box, it allows you to hardwire the camera, and that will give you the parking mode on the camera and monitor your voltage and time on the camera. And then the step up from there is going to be your 798. So this is our flagship camera. This uses the Starvis chipset, 2K resolution recording on this one. Your larger aperture, so 1.8 as opposed to the other cameras that had a 2.0. So more light is getting into that image sensor within the camera. This one also hardwired with a smart box to get the parking mode. Just great overall camera. This is what I'm using in my car. Ben has one of these in his car actually as well. And then this allows, the 798 allows you to also add the rear camera to it. So the rear camera that Mio uses, the model's the A50 on it, which is a little different than other dash cams on the market in that they actually put a microprocessor on board in the camera. So it processes the video before it sends it to the front camera. Most other cameras on the market, the image processing is done by the single camera up front. The video is sent to the single, it processes the image, and then writes it to the SD card. Mio processes the image in the rear camera and then sends it to the front camera, and that increases the video quality of the rear camera, which is beneficial when you're playing back videos or there is an accident that you have to go back to. So we're going to touch on the MyView Manager a little bit. It's something that maybe not everyone has played with or connected, downloaded. A lot of people are very app-based and like using apps. And certainly Neo has the MyView app that's going to let you view your videos, see your videos, watch it playback. But me personally, I think there is still a lot of merit to loading it on your computer. Everyone has a computer at home, and we're going to walk through the MyView Manager a little bit and show the different information that we have that we can pull from the camera here. So we're actually loading the app here. This is live. So I pulled this, actually the SD card, from my vehicle this morning, and we can open up different files in here. So I have the SD card inserted through a USB drive, and we have the different file formats. So we have event, normal, parking, and any photos you take with the photo function on the cams. So let's go front normal recording. We're going to open up these files here. So this is actually from this morning. So let's open up the file here. So you can see the plaque on your camera. There is the G sensor on board, so the 3-axis G sensor. So you're actually able to see what sensor is what direction. Let's turn the video clip here. Me actually moving. So mine are segmented into 5-minute videos. They're broken up so it's easier to download. There is options on the camera to change 1-minute video or 3-minute video, depending on how long of video clips you want. So the information, I think, that you get differently from your MyView Manager app as opposed to on your desktop like this, it gives you your direction, speed, longitude, and G-sensor information, and it also gives you a really clear picture. So we're gonna let this video play a little bit. So to most people, this information isn't going to be hugely important unless you're in an accident. And that's, at the end of the day, the very important part of the dash cam is if you're in a collision. All the other features are great and great to use, but you have a dash cam almost like insurance. I keep saying that you want to know when something happens that all this information is prevalent. So let's say I got into an accident at this location. So I was going 15 kilometers an hour. Here's my direction I was heading. You can also, it integrates with Google Maps as well. So this will show you, hey, this is exactly where I was when it happened. This is the route I was taking. So you know everything that's going on with the vehicle. And it also, something cool, if you bump out to full screen, you can actually zoom. It will let you zoom in certain locations. So it's pretty far away to view a license plate, but it will let you zoom in to 800% on here, which is a cool feature that you can pick up what signs, what roads are on signs, or any images further away, which is a pretty cool feature. So then something else I want to kind of talk about, your event recording. In your settings within the camera, you can determine how much space you want for certain types of recordings. So whether it be event, normal, or parking, most of your storage is going to be obviously normal recording. You get about, I'm on a 120 gig card. I'm about 2 weeks of recording, driving back and forth to work. But I also have, if we pull up some event recording here, I just want to kind of show you guys here. So in this SD card, I have an event from 2 years ago that hasn't been overwritten. Now the event was my windshield wipers were frozen. It activated the G sensor on it. I didn't actually get in a collision, but it's cool to know that, again, showing the map here, it's cool to know that those files will never be overwritten. So my SD card has been cycled multiple times on normal recording, but I'm still holding this event from 2 years ago, which is a pretty cool setting, I find, on their cameras and the quality of their cameras and their image recording. So if you want to hop back on, we can have some comments.
I am very impressed, Jaren. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the dash cam and the specs. I mean, the testing was impressive, and then there was the offering, which is very simple and very basic. But this right here, what you've been spending the last 5-10 minutes on, this is very important for dealers to understand, because if you can show this to your customer, they will understand what is involved with these. Now, sorry, before I make that statement, does this app have the same features regardless of which dash cam you choose, or is this only on the advanced 7 series?
No, you will lose. Your 733 also has a GPS function on board, so it will give you the GPS tagging on that. If you drop into a camera that doesn't have GPS, your GPS won't be recorded on,
and therefore no Google Maps. I mean, I think that Google
therefore
Maps
no Google Maps, but it will
Mhm.
still have your G sensor, so you can see at the time, like if you're getting hit or something, that G sensor is going to record it.
I'm very happy you brought this up, Jaren, because I'll be the first to admit I have not played with the desktop application yet. Everything I've done is off the MyView app on my phone, which is still brilliant. It works great. You can do the videos, all that stuff. But this, I mean, when it comes down, let's say, knock on wood, in the case of a serious accident, an event, this is what you want to have on your side to send over. I mean, you have everything you need: the date, the location, the Google Maps, the angle. You can zoom in. Whatever you need is right here. That's your digital witness right there.
Yeah, like as far as evidence based, if you went to court with this, the other person wouldn't have a leg to stand on.
Well, there's nothing to argue. It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. Here's like which direction I was going, how fast I was going, everything.
Exactly. Now, do you know, Jaren, if this is PC only or is it also Mac available?
I believe it's Mac as well.
Very, very nice. And of course, it's free to download.
Free to download. It's straight off the Mio Dashcam website, and it's super easy friendly. Like you see, open front, rear, parking. No. Search for the files.
You said you took the SD card out of the camera and put it into your computer and then open the app and open the file, correct? Is there also an opportunity to USB plug that cam straight in without having to?
No, just pull the SD card.
SD card.
Yeah.
And just for the record, on that higher model, I forgot the model 798, is it? What is the capacity of SD card on that? You mentioned you had a 128?
It's 256.
Whoa. So you said 2 weeks on 128, then I'm just going to extrapolate that to a month on a 256.
Yeah.
Based on the fact that you said you were, well, no, that makes no difference because you're doing 5-minute intervals, correct? But that's selectable. Like I have on mine too.
That's selectable. You're still going to be in the same storage. You just get more.
That doesn't affect the storage. Okay, fair enough. Is there anything else you wanted to highlight with as far as the software is concerned?
No, I think we covered it, and like it's
good job on that.
Show this to your customers, and they'll be, especially the tech customers. This is like really good insurance for your car.
Especially if the customer's coming in for a dash cam and they just went through this whole rigmarole. They're on fire. You want to show them what's available, such as this, and they'll be like, "Yep, I want it. Give it to me now." So, all right, let's take down the screen share. I want to take an opportunity to recognize a question that came in here while you were presenting. I don't know if we can bring this up on the screen, please. It's from Joshua Humphrey off of Facebook. Can you shut off the G sensor so that the bass from our customers' cars will not set it off all the time? Is that even a thing?
It is a thing. It's something I've heard. You can turn the sensitivity down, but they like having the G sensor off still. So if the bass is wailing in the car, you're going to unfortunately set off some of those emergency recordings, but it's going to be It's not going to affect the usability of the camera. It'll pop up emergency recording, but then it'll go away. Turn your sensitivity down.
Right. So all it's doing is recording. If you're hardwired, who cares?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Fair enough. I hope that answers your question, Joshua. Thank you for asking. All right. Let's kind of segue into part 2 of this presentation. So we talked about this automotive application dashcam, super cool software. But Mio's also got an interesting solution for our two-wheeled enthusiasts. I guess the best thing to do, Jaren, let's play the video and we'll come back and talk about that. Let's play the video.
Okay.
Pretty exciting video. And, you know, I was just thinking while I was watching that, man, if there's any group of people that would be very motivated to have a dash cam system on their vehicle, would certainly be motorcycle enthusiasts. There's no doubt about it. So we're definitely going to jump into that. I did see another question jump in on the chat here real quick. I wanted to bring up. It's from Joe Johnston before we get into the motorcycle thing. And it has to do with, I guess, you know, size of SD card. So let me read it. A question I get from most dashcam clients is recording time versus memory card size. I know it makes a difference based on recording quality if it can be changed, but at max quality recording, how many minutes or hours of recording will you get with a 16, 32 gig, so on forth? Is there like a chart of some kind? I think is, you know, what he's asking.
There isn't a definite chart or anything. It's really tough to tell because there's different qualities of SD cards out there as well. It's a really, to put it in car audio terms, it's kind of a roll of a dice. It's like asking how many watts will this amplifier produce at any amount of time. That's where a customer that asks a question like that, how much storage time are you getting, or how much recording time am I getting? That's where I would really push them for storage allocation, which Mio has different storage applications. So like I saw in the video, I get about 2 weeks of normal recording on my storage allocation, and that's at 2.5K resolution. That's half an hour to work, half an hour home. I don't drive much outside of that. But I still have event videos from 2 years ago. So my challenge to that type of customer to talk to them about is, what are you going back and reviewing from 2 weeks ago?
And you said you had a 128 gig card? Just to be clear, you said
Yeah.
120. Yep. At max
I have
resolution.
100.
At
Yeah,
2.5.
at max at 2.5K resolution. So
Mhm.
if something happens, you're going to either event or you're going to pull that video right away. If you get into that accident, your G-Sense is going to trigger and you're going to pull that event right away. Or if something happens to your car, you can allocate more storage for parking mode.
Mm-hmm.
So that you can go back and review the parking mode videos. That would be the only thing that I would necessarily go back and review, because normal driving, I don't care that I went 100 down the highway yesterday. Nothing happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
I'm going to add one thing to that, if I may, Jaren. With the price of SD cards today, it's not like
yes.
6 years ago where you're like, ooh, do I want to splurge on the extra? You know what I mean? You can go walk into any location and pick up a good quality SD card. 128 gigs these days, honestly, it's very affordable. And if I was a shop and I was installing it, a proper 2-channel system like what we're discussing here, hardwired, man, put in that 128 gig, because really it's not even really that much of a deal anymore from a price perspective. That's the only layer that I would add to it. Okay.
Yeah.
Hope that answers your question, Joe. Thanks for asking. Let's get into this video, this new product, motorcycle. You have a presentation. Let's give you the stage. Let's hear about it. Now, when you're done, we'll come back and finalize everything with some questions.
So we were going to talk about the motorcycle rider cam. So this is definitely marketed and pushed as a motorcycle cam. I see it as other applications as well. This can be an ATV, side-by-side camera as well. So anything you want to record, any 12-volt vehicle you want to record. So we'll get into it here. So main device, 32 gig memory card, integrated Wi-Fi, 2 cameras that have the Starvis chip on board for the cameras to get that better video quality in low light conditions or night conditions, and your GPS multifunction control box. So that allows you to trigger event recordings and everything. It gives you a button that you can mount on your handlebars. So basic setup you got here is kind of a pictorial graph of rear camera, main device, and that main device is pretty small. It has the 5 breakout cables for it. Your control box, it would be handlebar or steering wheel mounted, and then your front camera as well. So pretty basic setup. Hard parts definitely run in the wires in the motorcycle depending on the bike. But as far as storage, or not storage, size of the physical box and camera, you're pretty tiny. It's fitting in most motorcycles. I don't know of a motorcycle out there that can't fit this little tiny box in there. So integrated Wi-Fi for real-time footage viewing and backup. So this is the MyView Pro app. So we were talking about the desktop version, and yes, you can get desktop version, still applies 100% to this camera as well. Still do all the same functionality, but this one's definitely going to be more app-based because of the lack of screen on it. So you're going to want to connect your camera, download videos, go through, see playback stuff that obviously you've recorded, or just live view to set up the cameras, see which direction they're facing, make sure it's all the view for the customer is good and out on the road. So one button emergency lock file. So if you are into a situation, you hit that emergency button and it's going to do an emergency record. This won't have a G sensor on board, similar to the dash cams, or unlike the dash cams, because the motorcycle is going to get thrown around and moved around more often. So if you do hit that emergency situation, you're going to hit that button to record what's ahead of you. And it's going to lock that file to prevent it being overwritten on the SD card, and it's going to automatically download once you connect your phone to the Wi-Fi. This is IP67 waterproof rating, so it is metal casing, glass lenses, so IP67, full waterproof. You're going to have confidence on this in the rain, in the wet. They do mass amounts of testing on this as well. Similar to their dash cams, it's one of the things they test is the waterproofing on the cameras. So you have confidence that it's not going to fill with water 20 minutes into your ride. So this is what comes in the contents of the box. You have your main device, your GPS control box also houses a GPS antenna, front and rear cam, 1.5 meter front cam, and 1.5 meter rear cam, and then hardwired installation, so it turns on with ignition, comes with cable ties, and your 3M double stick tape on there. So if we bring Ben back on, we'll talk a little bit more about the rider cam.
Again, low profile. I can't think of a category that requires this more. So for you guys out there that, especially guys that are doing motorcycle audio, which is kind of a big deal right now, recommend that dash cam system. They might not even know it exists. And I find that is an ongoing thing within the ADAS category that, we're talking about consumer awareness. You as the 12-volt specialist needs to, take that extra effort to make your consumer aware. Remember, pre-qualified customer, they're in your bay, you already got the fairings off, you're running power cable. Like, what is it to add this, 2-cam system? And they're going to be super happy they even brought it to their attention that something like this even exists. Super slick, by the way, super slick control button. I think that's really neat. I had a question. Now, you brought up the app for this system. It just made me think, so if I have a car, I've got the, the camera system and they're 2-channel. Then I have a bike and can the same app control 2 different systems?
Yep. Just depends on what it's connected through Wi-Fi. So if you're picking whatever Wi-Fi you're on, whether it be your motorcycle or the car, download it and same app to view either one. Something I forgot to mention about the cameras is they're actually 360 mountable.
Oh, they can be upside down.
So that mount swivels 360 degrees. So whether it be top mount, bottom mount, side mount, whatever direction you want to mount that camera.
Yeah, and you nailed it.
The options for all the bikes out there or side by sides.
Whether it's a speed bike, a Harley, a cruiser, a side by side, an ATV. I mean, I think that fits the bill on all of that. As far as the bike goes, I don't really have many more questions. It's pretty self-obvious how important that is. And obviously with the testing, so that kind of segues to what I want to talk about. Just wanted to review a couple of the key points that you laid out today, Jaren. The testing, the reliability. You can go to Mio, check out all the testing videos they've done. It's pretty intense. I think that's a big selling point for sure. That GPS tagging functionality, that's something that dealers need to be aware of when they're selling to customers. Not all dash cam systems have a built-in GPS. So that's certainly a key point, because that's critical. As you saw with the demonstration with the software, that GPS information tells you exactly where. You can loop it into Google Maps, which everybody's comfortable with. Super important thing as far as the GPS tagging functionality. And just to be clear, the rider system also has GPS, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Now here's the one that I've been saving for the end of this conversation. There's kind of 2 trains of thought I see kind of splitting in the industry when it comes to dash cams. We've got one group, which is like, nope, let's keep this low profile. We don't need a screen. We've got an app. And then you've got Mio with their flagship model, which clearly has an app. Not just Mio. There's other brands that also have a screen. So there's kind of like 2 schools of thought. So I want to pick your brain on that, Jaren.
I'm going to challenge dealers on this one. Me and Ben had this conversation before. He kind of threw me into this one. It's a common thing that we get from dealers. Well, we want no screen option. We want no screen option. And my challenge to dealers is, do you want a no screen option, or does your customer want a no screen option? Big difference. How many dash cam customers do you have walk into your store? First they walk into the store, which is a rarity nowadays. But once they're in the store, hey, I'm looking for a dash cam. The next thing they say is, I want one without a screen.
Mm-hmm.
There is that customer out there. I'm not saying that there isn't. There's probably the ones that have done their research and want one without a screen. I was in the same school of thought. I've had dash cams without screens. I put the Mio in for testing that once we were starting to bring on this brand, and I love my screen. maybe I'm old, but the buttons on it to be able to adjust the settings. I don't need to connect an app to adjust the settings on it. So right out of the gate is a plus. I can see what's going on. I know every morning that my dash cam is recording properly because it pops up, screen turns on, it says welcome, and I can see that it's recording. There is settings on the cam that you can black out the screen as well. I know Ben has one in his car. I don't know if he has that setting turned on.
I don't, because I was just going to second what you just said there. I appreciate not, there's so many things you're getting in the car, you're plugging it in, you want your CarPlay working, I want my Sirius XM going. You know what I mean? I don't need another layer of prep before I actually put the car in gear and go. Okay, so what I'm saying is, and I'm not talking down the fact either way, but from my experience, for me personally, I like the automatic visual, confirmation that the system is working. Yeah. This is a 2-channel, so I see the front camera, I see the rear camera, the GPS knows that I'm leaving from home, and away I go. And then it blacks out, right? I think you can set the time that, like
you can set the time, whether it be 30 seconds, a minute,
I think a lot
minutes.
of it has to do with aesthetics. I think this is an aesthetic question. I could see somebody who owns a Porsche 911 and he wants super slick. He's just spent 13 grand on a CI radar. He wants nothing showing. So maybe he wants that super slim profile that nobody wants. It's like that low profile slick look. I get it. I'm going to say that represents a much smaller part of the business. The average consumer, here's what I have to say. I might get comments about this. I think people feel there's a perceived value when there is a screen included. And when you don't see the screen, they're going to expect it to be less expensive. Maybe. That's what I think.
I like we've been telling dealers for a long time, like sell the screen, sell the benefits of the screen, like and tying back into the ADAS features, like mine pops up when when there's an alert, when there's a cam, when there's an alert, it pops up and hey,
it gets my attention.
Speed cam coming ahead, right? And like mine is half hidden. I tuck mine up a little bit behind the rear view mirror, so I can see kind of like half the screen. If I do one of these, I can see the whole screen, but I forget it's there. Honestly, like I see it turn on in the morning out of my corner of my eye, and I know it's recording, and then I don't notice it after that.
Fair enough.
Screen goes black. I don't notice.
I don't think there's a right answer on that one. I think it's a matter of opinion, and I think you brought up a good point, Jaren. And is it your customer asking for that? So, again, we'll let you guys decide from a dealer perspective.
One of the biggest things I had to learn was in sales is it's not. Yes, you have your personal opinions, but it's not always about your personal opinions, because everyone's not you. Sell what is right for the customer, right? 100%. Sell what you have in the store. If you have one with the screen, sell the one with the screen.
Yep, absolutely. So I'm going to round this out by making my recommendation based on what we've learned today here, Jaren. If you're a 12-volt retailer tuning in, you're interested in that hardwire package, right? You want to be able to offer that elevated experience, that elevated install that provides that 2-channel rear cam, front cam, hardwired parking mode, that whole thing. This is a great offering. It's simple. There's only 3. If you wanted to go 3, I would say if I was a store, I'd only do the better and the best version and offer that to the customer, and always sell the best first and top down. Again, take away the features. And again, incumbent on the dealer to capitalize on the fact that they have a pre-qualified customer in their bay. And most of the time is awareness. And this is one of those I can speak from experience, very simple to use and quite reliable. So I can say that much for sure. On that note,
I would put it past quite reliable. Like, this is stuff that doesn't
elevated upper echelon reliability. How's that? I'll say that for sure. Absolutely. For more information on Mio products, you want to check out, it's a pretty simple website, mio.com. And if you're interested in becoming a Mio dealer, really not too many SKUs to deal with, importel.com. That's who you need to contact. You're talking about 2 camera SKUs, a rear cam, and a hardwire box. That's pretty much the bulk of it. So it's not complicated. Cam. And the motorcycle cam. Yes, thank you for reminding me, Jen. Absolutely.
Don't forget it, Ben.
I won't forget it. Mr. 12-Volt Viking, thank you so much for joining us today. Always a pleasure to have you.
Thanks, Ben.
Take care. All right, there you have it. That was Importel and Mio as far as dash cam options for your shop. Okay, I want to remind you, if you're into this ADAS thing and you're learning and you're getting interested, well, stick with us because we are ADAS right through till October 12th. Some of the biggest brands each and every day, 12 o'clock every day. Make sure you tune in. We've also got an incredible contest. Still lots of time to sign up, but please don't procrastinate. Head over to cmanetworks.com/giveaway and enter a chance to win the Ultimate Fab Experience, a chance to get over to MasterTech Expo in Arizona next spring, courtesy of 5-Axis Innovations and SiriusXM. And while you're on our site, cmanetworks.com, obviously, check out the category tab, click in ADAS, much more videos to learn from, or check out Importel's playlist, where it pretty much covers all the brands that they offer. Hey, I want to say thank you for tuning in to this CMA Connected presented by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.
I mean, yeah, let's talk about
Stop
today where I'm gonna go
Yo, roll it down.
I am.
You don't need a car to listen to SiriusXM. You can listen anywhere. You know that, right?
What? Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio.
Kevin, you could use your phone.
What? What?
Alexa, play Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio on Sirius XM.
What?
This is how I know you're getting old. I guess that was it.
What?